got myself into. Today, I'm talking about Showgirls, the 1995 NC-17 mainstream film that stars Elizabeth Berkley as Nomi Malone and was directed by Paul Verhoeven of RoboCop fame. Wow. You may know Elizabeth Berkley as Jessie Spano from the Saturday morning Saved by the Bell television series. Showgirls is essentially that one Saved by the Bell episode where Jessie got all hopped up on caffeine pills. Here, the writers and producers took a look at that episode and said, hey, you know what? I think that would make a really good feature-length film.
I'm so excited!
I'm so scared. And to Berkley's credit, she is the true standout of this film. You will never see another acting performance quite like what she does in this film. Everything is over the top. There is nothing that won't piss Nomi Malone off in this film. You know, it's actually pretty fascinating. It kind of becomes something of a game. It's like, all right, how long is it going to take before she just takes it badly and gives the worst reaction possible? Doesn't take long. You know, I will admit, I've been wanting to see Showgirls, not for the movie itself, but I also lived in Vegas for nearly 10 years, and it was a little bit of a homecoming. I got a little homesick for Vegas. When I came there, the Stardust had just closed down, and the Riviera was still there, the Sahara was still there, and a bunch of those old buildings, casinos. I was like, oh, I hung out there. Oh, I hung out at the Forum Shops, and a couple of the other places that they checked out in the movie, and it was kind of nice. It was kind of a homecoming. Movie itself, not so much. Yeah. In Showgirls, Nomi comes to Vegas to be a dancer. Actually, you know, you really don't know what her story is because it's basically a void until the last 15 minutes of this film. It's like, oh, well, we got 15 minutes. We probably should wrap this up and tell what her deal is. She evades, she brushes off, it just never gets answered, she spits in someone's face, who knows? Honestly, as a character, Nomi sucks. She's hostile and aggressive to everybody, including her friends. Any conversation with her usually ends in hissing, dramatic flailing, or spitting. This is our protagonist, folks. But after getting dropped off in Vegas, getting her luggage stolen, and throwing french fries around, Nomi gets a job at Cheetah's. You know, they missed a whole pun opportunity for saying Cheetahs never prosper, but, you know, what do I know? They didn't hire me as the writer of this thing. Her roommate, who serves as roommate, introduces her to Crystal Connors, who is played by Gina Gershon. Connors is the lead diva of the goddess show at the Stardust, and Crystal's character traits are cocaine, calling people darling, and I guess she's supposed to be bisexual, although she never seems to really have any real interest in men, but, you know, cocaine! It doesn't take long for the film to subject viewers to lots and lots of nudity. This is an NC-17 film that got a mainstream release after all. While this film is going for an erotic tone, everything that could conceivably make it titillating is sucked out by the awkward performances. Everything is slightly uncomfortable. There's literal minutes of boobs, and it's all just... I don't even think the lack of allure is a statement about exploitation. Don't believe me? Watch that pool sex scene where Berkley flops around like a fish. I was so confused by it, I couldn't stop laughing all through that scene. And then it occurred to me that she's basically boffing a guy named Zach. She eats a hamburger like she's never heard of such a concept one scene, then flails toward the taxi the next. And when she dances, she looks like she genuinely wants to murder everybody, including the audience. It really feels like Berkley has something to prove with this film. It's like, alright, we get it. You're not in Saved by the Bell anymore, and, you know, even though you're with Kyle MacLachlan, the other Zach. I mean, where is she even from?
Back east.
Not an answer. Even in scenes with Crystal, there's zero chemistry involved. Instead, we get a really long scene about how they both like to eat doggy chow.
I used to love doggy chow.
I used to love doggy chow too.
Also, I never realized there was a Warner Brothers studio store in the Forum Shops. She cycles through her friendships and the dialogue is so laughable.
Man, everybody got AIDS and shit.
Everybody got AIDS and shit. Even when she and her would-be boyfriend attempt to have sex, they end up talking about menstrual cycles. Was the point to make this erotic movie as unerotic as possible? Because I think they did. Of course, Nomi's whole goal as the film progresses is to take over Crystal's place, and at one point in the film, she pushes Crystal down an entire flight of stairs. What's weird about this, though, is everybody acts like this is just a normal occurrence, like this is just the natural progression on how you do this. What, are Vegas showgirl Sith Lords and the apprentice must kill the master in order to ascend? So Nomi is Palpatine to Crystal's Darth Plagueis the Wise?
Good. I can feel your anger. Strike me down and your journey to become lead Vegas showgirl shall be complete.
And after Nomi fulfills the prophecy of becoming the chosen one and getting what she wanted, the film takes a pretty dark turn and then wraps up pretty much. I guess they ran out of ideas and had to put some sort of conflict to get to the end of this thing, and, well, sure did. And that's the thing, even when Nomi's doing good, she's still doing absolutely terrible things. So there's nothing redeemable about this character. There's nothing likable about this character. Even at the end of this film, they pretty clearly insinuate that there's going to be a Showgirls 2 where she's going to take on Los Angeles. You know, there actually was a Showgirls 2, though it didn't star Berkley. If you watch the film, there is another stripper that has about 3 minutes screen time. Her name is Penny. She is literally a background character with a couple lines and doesn't really have any impact on the story either way, although she hooks up with Nomi's ex-boyfriend. Proxy thing, whatever he was, because they didn't really get together. I guess the actress who played Penny, Rena Riffle, decided that her character had a lot more to say because she directed, produced, wrote, and starred in Showgirls 2, Pennies from Heaven, where it was basically a somehow even worse film than Showgirls. And she decided that this background character needed her own story to tell. You know what this reminds me of? And I'm actually going to tell a little personal story. I've done some acting. I was in a film in 2008 called Yes Man, starring Jim Carrey. I have a cameo role in the film, and you can see me when Jim Carrey enters the bank and he's handing out oranges to people. As he's going through the line, he actually hands me the full bag of oranges where I start passing out the oranges to everybody. It was a neat little scene, and I had a lot of fun with it. You know, again, 2008 when it came out, and it was a brief one-day scene. Making Showgirls 2 with Rena Riffle is essentially like me saying, you know what? I think that orange guy had a lot more to say with his personal story. I'm going to go out and make a whole feature-length film about Orange Guy. I kind of want to make that now. Anyway, that's Showgirls, a film so bad that I had to cover it. I had to. It needed to be said. What's next? Manos the Hands of Fate? Let's talk about that this fall. Anyway, thanks so much for checking in, and as always, I will see you that next time. Take care.
I've had dog food.